Hi, I'm Walt Kasmir. I'm elated and honored that you've stopped by my channel. I don't take it for granted that you've given me a few moments of your life to find out what's going on here on Critical Conversations. Well, I cover a variety of critical topics here on Critical Conversations, and I put the respective topics in their playlist below. So always check out the video descriptions and look at the playlist topics for new updated content. Today, I want to highlight the playlist Grace for Grieving. It is all based on my book, Grace for Grieving. And I'm basically acknowledging the fact that as of the recording of this video, we here in America have lost 900,000 souls to COVID. So death and grief is real. It's alive and well here in our country. It has been, and it's one of those kind of taboo topics that most of us try to avoid. But that's what we do here. We have critical conversations. So I want to invite two main groups really to join me here on Grace for Grieving. Number one, I want to open this door to the survivors of people who have succumbed to COVID, number one, in this pandemic, but anyone who is still grieving a loved one. I want to help you come and process that grief here. Grace for Grieving is a safe place to process that grief. And also, you will probably help thousands of people when they see your testimony and how you have experienced grief, and you will help them understand that the emotions that they are experiencing are normal, regardless of how you may perceive them in the short term. That's one of the main things that we do here on Grace for Grieving is help normalize the emotions. I also help explain grief, different types of grief, different strategies for coping with grief. And most people think of grief when they lose a loved one, but there are multiple types of grief. Grief is really when we lose something. People could be mourning over loss of a job, loss of relationships, loss of status, loss of various things that cause us pain. It's not just losing a loved one. So in my book, Grace for Grieving, I go into that. I have a corresponding online course for that will help you process that and be able to cope with that burden of grief just a little bit easier. And of course, I'm also inviting relative experts with various expertise to my channel to help share that expertise with my guests. And I'm talking about mental health counselors, psychologists, social workers with clinical licenses, psychiatrists, coaches, pastors, anyone who has a legitimate clarion call to help people. I invite you to reach out to me. In the description below, I will leave my contact information on social media. You can DM me, email me, all of the above. I leave the links in the description below, whether you're watching this on YouTube or any other social media, or if you're listening on all the streaming podcast platforms. So I am making a clarion call to anyone who is a survivor who needs a safe place to process their grief and to memorialize a loved one. I'm also looking for experts to be guests on the show. So there you have it, people. Just wanted to give you a little overview of what Grace for Grieving is all about here on Critical Conversations. Again, a variety of topics on the playlist in the description below. Till we meet again, be blessed and be healed.